Hi everyone, so today we're going to do a quick run through of how we can use two tools, ChatGPT and Canva, to really speed up the lesson planning and lesson creation process. These are AI tools, they should really be able to help you out, they're there to make things quicker. Obviously you always need to check the content, but they're definitely really worth using. So let's say I want to create a lesson on, let's say it's a physics lesson, we're going to do it on current, potential difference and resistance. So this might be like an introductory lesson for like year 9, something like that. Maybe younger, but anyway, the point is we're going to use this to make it really easy to create that lesson. So I've got that here. Create a lesson plan for 13-year-olds that introduces the topic of current, potential difference and resistance. I'm going to hit that into ChatGPT. That's then going to go away and make me a lesson. Okay, so I'm going to cut there and we'll come back once that lesson's been created. Okay, so as you can see, it's now created that lesson. Took a minute or two. Comes out with all the information, gives me an idea of an introduction, gives me some ideas of what I might want to, what I might want to introduce in what order. Loads of ideas, introducing Ohm's law there, explaining the relationship. Like you might think that this is like a bit too much to do all in one lesson, but it might not be, depends who you're teaching. You can ask it to do different things based off that. Okay, so it's giving me an overview, but now I want to do a little bit more with it. So what I want to do first, I'm going to have to keep jumping in and out here, is I'm going to ask it to create the PowerPoint. Now it can't itself create a PowerPoint, but it can create the content of the PowerPoint. So I might just say something like create a PowerPoint for this lesson, or maybe create a PowerPoint structure for this lesson. So it's now giving me the slides. It's going to tell me what they are, and then I'm going to do something really interesting in that in a minute when it's finished. So I'm going to let that run, and then I'll come back to you in a second. Okay, so we've created that. Well, I say we. ChatGPT's created that. That's taken all that information. It's made it into a set of slides in the sense it's given me the information that I might want on each of them. So what I can do that's really interesting with this is I can copy that, and I can take that and paste it into here. Now this is Canva, canva.com if you haven't used it. Really useful thing for just putting documents, making images, making PowerPoints, that kind of thing. But one of the great features is I can paste that into there, and it's clever enough when I go up here and click convert to presentation, that it'll allow me just to literally convert it straight into presentation. It's a really new thing they're doing. It'll get better as it goes along. All the Canva stuff comes out and then it gets improved and improved on. But I'm just going to use this. It will generate a presentation. It will give me some ideas of what I might want for my slides. I'm just going to pick the top one. I might not be that happy with it, but I'm just going to pick it. As you can see, it gives me all of those bits of information now, and it's put them into a slide, so I can, at least have a good starting point. Click create a presentation. It'll then go away and make that as a presentation. I can edit it. I can change different things that I might want to on here, but at least it gives me that information. It's put it all in a nice layout. It only take everything's editable. I can change that. I might think that's a little bit too small, so I'm going to make like the font size on this a bit bigger so I can see it a bit easier. I might change loads of it, but the point is it gets me there really quickly. It gets me straight away there, along with that lesson plan that I've already got in here. I'm not saying this is going to do. You're not going to need to touch it a little bit and change it a little bit, but it is there to make a really good start, if that makes sense. So once I've got that, I've got my presentation there made. I've now got my brief structure of my lesson. I might want it I might want to ask it to create me some questions. Okay, so I might say to it, can you create 10 questions that can be answered based on the content covered in this lesson? Okay, so I can do that. So now ChatGPT is going to come up with the questions. It's which is great. Gives me a nice little bit. I can copy and paste that out into Canva if I want to make me a nice little worksheet. Again, same sort of principle. all of this stuff, it's just there to like give you a starting point. You might sit and think, I want to ask this specific question, to put that in. The whole point here is it's just going to help you get a bit of content going, a bit of kind of material that you can start with to use at least. Okay, so there we go. So that's giving me them there. I can then maybe say, can you provide a question that will stretch and challenge the students on this topic? So as you can see, all the questions above are like, what factors affect the resistance of a conductor, what is electrical current, all fairly pretty standard ones. Let's see if you can give me something that might stretch a little bit. So you go copper wire and aluminium wire, same length, same cross-sectional area. So it's asking me, it's giving me a question, it's even giving me a little bit of a hint, it's taking it a little bit further, it's asking me something that they won't necessarily get straight from the content of that lesson. Brilliant. I can ask for 5 more questions if I want like that. That's dead easy. I can even say to it, what do you think I should teach in my next lesson? And it will look at this and it will say, what do you think it might cover? Do you see what I mean? So it's now going to write me a whole thing, but series and parallel circuit, which is fine. That's a fine topic to go on with. Not going to let it generate all of that. But as you can see, it's really, really easy to use from the point of view of getting, information. I could say, suggest a practical for the, what do we call that first lesson? For this lesson, for the introduction to current and resistance lesson. I'll do this down here. So practical, building a simple circuit, that's absolutely fine. It's going to give me a bit of an objective. It's probably going to tell me the material that I'm going to need. All those things. It's there. It's just really makes it really nice and easy to help with your planning. I'm not saying it's going to do absolutely everything. It's not going to give you a perfect lesson, but it is going to give you a lot of information you can start with and use. Okay. So I really, really like it for that. Again, you can ask it loads of stuff. You can say, give me a starter activity. Give me, let's have, can you give me, okay, can you give me a 5-minute starter activity? So it's going to do that. It's going to, come up with something like the bulb challenge. Let's have a little look. But this is all stuff that we have in our. It's all stuff that that we have within school in the cupboard that we can use. So it's good like that. It's not going to give you some really crazy experiment that you can only produce with a PhD level physics lab. It really does just literally really understands understands a bit loose term here, but it really does know what you are actually after being in a school situation. I'm going to stop it there anyway. So so that's just it. So you can use ChatGPT to get loads of examples, put that into it, plan it, put it into Canva, use the tools in Canva, the automated, their AI tools as well that are using it to create presentations, that kind of thing. Use other, on Canva's great as well because it has loads of imagery and things like that. But it allows you to get a really neat lesson really, really quickly, loads of information, allows you to expand a bit more. Like I could do things like, for example, just to take it one step, let's say I've got a Polish student in my class. Let's say, first of all, let's make a keywords thing. So what are the key words from this lesson? Okay, let's limit it. What are the 10 keywords from this lesson? So I'm hoping it's going to give me 10 keywords. There we go. So it's going to give me those. And then, let's say I've got a Polish student in my lesson. Okay? So I can say, I don't know, those are my keywords. I definitely want everyone to understand those. Could you translate these words into Polish? Okay. So it's going to give me the Polish versions of those words. Nice little key card there I can give out to that Polish student, which will really help them, hopefully understand and get involved with the lesson. Really, really, really useful. Okay, I could get it to translate the whole lesson if I wanted to into Polish. Brilliant. So what I would say is get hold of this, use it. It's I'm not saying that it won't ever have a tiny error in it. I'm sure it will do, but it will help you massively save time when planning lessons.